by this time is a breath of fresh air to see something different and get a break from that horrible music.
It's nice and refreshing to see a change of scenery after 4 levels of the exact same stuff.
Helmet head. Also, when did he ever wear that sleeveless black shirt?
Oh look, a black sleeveless shirt. Shouldn't this be red?
Every single thing you can imagine is out to kill you.
Holy shit!
Bullies, hula hoop girls, killer bees, and guys holding glass windows.
Potholes, big bullies, things that look like coffee cups. What the fuck? And these 2 guys that walk back and forth carrying a plate of glass, which seems to be...
And you gotta love that music. Sounds just like the movie, right?
No!
And that's it. It just loops over and over again.
Now, if you aren't hard of hearing, the background music of this game should be driving you to the point of insanity. Now, it's not that bad, but for starters, this music was not even in the movie. And because it's looped over...
I wish I could go back in time to prevent this game from being made.
This game is so bad, I wish I could just go back in time and stop it from ever being created.
What a shitload of fuck.
What a shitload of fuck!
What a shitload of fuck.
What a shitload of fuck!
What a shitload of fuck.
What a shitload of fuck!
Cow, fucking piece of dog shit. This game...
Piece of cowabunga shit!
You're rushing to make it through as fast as you can. And all these electric plants hurt you, so you need a lot of patience. But how could you have patience when you're in a fucking hurry? Fuck!
Now, in any other game, I probably could have taken my time to swim through it safely. But, oh, I'm sorry, I've only got 1 more minute to disarm 6 more fucking bombs. I don't have time to deal with this bullshit.
And some game designer who's laughing their ass off just decided to put a pizza down there. Okay, well, what's the point? I mean, are you going to be suicidal enough to go and try to get that pizza? I mean, who's going to do that? It's impossible.
Just what the fuck were they thinking when they placed a pizza box way down here? Now, just how the hell am I supposed to get to this in time? If I go for it, I end up dying. So what's the reason for this?
I mean, instead, make way for the missile balloons, flying robot head, those little butterfly things, Mr. Fireman.
And talking about enemies, what the fuck is up with the enemy selection in this game anyway? Eyeball plants? Rocket pack flyers? Guys on fire? Do you ever remember seeing these?
The Final Fantasy series is the prime example. Not being a hardcore fan, I'll attempt to explain it to the best of my knowledge. From what I understand, Final Fantasy II, at the time of its Japanese release, wasn't released in the US. Neither was Final Fantasy III. But Final Fantasy IV came out here, and because we didn't have 2 or 3, it wouldn't have made sense to call it 4, so what do? They call it 2. Now, Final Fantasy V wasn't released here either. So, when 6 came out, that became 3. Final Fantasy III also happens to be one of my all-time favorite games on the Super Nintendo. And I remember that after that, Squaresoft started releasing the next Final Fantasy games on PlayStation. Things changed, and now they weren't fucking with the titles anymore. So when Final Fantasy VII came out, they just called it Final Fantasy VII. And that's where the confusion began. I wondered, what the fuck happened to 4, 5, and 6? But what I really should have been wondering, little did I know, what the fuck happened to 2, 3, and 5? And once I figured that out, I was like, so there were other Final Fantasy games we didn't know about? I was playing 6 all along and not 3? What a bunch of fucking bullfuck.
Let me first clarify that no, this isn't the Final Fantasy III that was released on the Super Nintendo, because in actuality, this wasn't Final Fantasy III to begin with. If you're not aware on how this happened, let me explain. Final Fantasy games are always released in Japan first, then brought over to the US later on. So when Japan got Final Fantasy, we got Final Fantasy. When they got Final Fantasy II, we got jack shit. Yep, that's right. The poor US was left out in the cold, and Japan ended up getting 5 more Final Fantasy games. And out of those titles, the US only received 2 of them. The first one was Final Fantasy IV, which ended up being renamed Final Fantasy II, and Final Fantasy VI, which also ended up being renamed Final Fantasy III. This cover-up went unnoticed for many years until Final Fantasy VII appeared on the Sony PlayStation. And it just so happens they decided to keep it named number 7 once it was released to the US. So now the cat was out of the bag, and pissed off fans everywhere gathered together, went over to the Nintendo offices, and burnt them to the ground for their treachery.
I mean, it's like you touch the top of the building, you die. You touch the ceiling, you die. You touch the floor, you die. Too far to the right, you die. Too far to the left, you die. You die, you die, you die, 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 die.
Now if you hated the log ride, I guarantee you're gonna hate this flying carpet level even more, since anything you touch here will instantly kill your ass. Touch the ceiling, you die. Touch the ground, you die. Touch the lava, you die. Even if you think about touching anything in this level, you will die.
Are you going to plagiarize the whole thing for us? Do you have any thoughts of your own on this matter?